This is the L2C Media Network, live from the Tom O'Neill Studios in Jackson and the Fred McLeod Sports Desk. This is after the first half sports finals look at the review of all the 1 o'clock games and a review of tonight's Sunday and Monday night broadcast. Now, hopefully, with all the scores, here's Steve, the Baxman Baxley. All right. Thank you very much, Harry. Good evening, or actually, good afternoon, everyone. It is 11 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock. Let's get started. Sorry, let's get started with the games that are still going on, even though it's about time for the 405 and 425ers to start. One of them just went final. The Atlanta Falcons made mincemeat of the Miami Dolphins by 2. Falcons 30, Dolphins 28. Shocker, the New York Giants defeated the Carolina Panthers by a score of 25-3. 2 minutes left to play in the game. It's obviously close that the Cincinnati Bengals are about to win this one. They lead the Baltimore Ravens 41-17. Titans lead the Kansas City Chiefs in an upset. 27-3 final score. And how about this? The Patriots, more than the hills are alive. The Patriots are alive with the sound of touchdowns. That's right. The Patriots are on their way to whopping the New York Jets 54. Bring that bell, puppy. Bring that bell. 54-13. You won't believe the stats we're going to give you tonight at midnight on the Sports Final. Meanwhile, Green Bay Packers defeat the Washington we ain't got a name yet until after the season, 24-10. Right now, let's give you the 405 scores as we have them, and with 12:07 remaining in the opening quarter, the Detroit Lions have said howdy to their former quarterback, Matthew Stafford. They lead the Rams 7-0. With 11 minutes and 1 second left in their opening quarter, the Eagles lead the Raiders 7-0. 2 games of interest, none of them we can preview, unfortunately. Bears and Bucks and Texans and Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, the only team left with an undefeated season. And both games are going to be fun and interesting. Of course, tonight you got the 49. You got the Indianapolis Colts at the San Francisco 49ers on NBC and NBC Universal for the Spanish language folks. And Monday night, we can preview Saints and Seahawks, so might as well just preview that game. Excuse me, I forgot I had my ears on. Shouldn't do that when you're hearing the control room. And here we go. Now, Pete Carroll does not want the story because if it were, the story would say the Seattle Seahawks are doing a little faltering, rarely seen in the past decade. The Seahawks coach would like a few more weeks before declarations are made about whether the Seahawks can find their way back into contention or they're bound to languish at the bottom of the NFC West. While Carroll would like to postpone the inevitable, the reality is they've been a major disappointment heading into Monday night's matchup against New Orleans. At 2-4, the Seahawks are in last place, perhaps the toughest division with only Detroit and the New York Giants having worse records in the NFC. The Seahawks, now they have been dealt a challenging hand with the loss of quarterback Russell Wilson to a finger injury, starting running back Chris Carson with neck troubles and a defense that had a 4-week span statistically that was among the worst in league history. Seattle is more than 1/3 of the way through the season, and at the point where if a turnaround is going to happen, it needs to start with the Saints. But Carroll doesn't want his team feeling a sense of urgency. While New Orleans isn't in the same precarious position as Seattle, the Saints can't afford many stumbles if they want to keep up with Tampa Bay in the South. And my cat Uno has just made her cameo appearance on the broadcast, as you can see. How you doing, sweetheart? The Saints win the bye week with more than a half dozen starters or prominent regulars injured. This past week, several of them have been designated for return from injured reserve to the active roster. They include starting defensive end Marcus Davenport, who sacked Aaron Rodgers in week 1, but hasn't played since because of a pectoral strain. Also back, at least at practice, are starting linebacker Quan Alexander, starting receiver Traquan Smith, and veteran kicker Will Lutz. Alexander also has played in just the season opener, while Smith and Lutz have been injured since preseason. Lutz was New Orleans' kicker for every game the previous 5 seasons. New Orleans has been through several kickers since Lutz was injured, including Aldrich Rojas and Cody Parquet. The Saints also have kicker Brian Johnson on the roster if Lutz isn't ready this week. In addition, center Eric McCoy, calf strain, and starting left tackle Teron Armstead with an elbow problem returned to practice this week. However, receiver Michael Thomas did not practice on Thursday, nor did Taysom Hill. Whoever is the primary running back won't have it easy against the Saints. New Orleans ranks second in the league, giving up just 79 points per game. That's rushing. Only Washington has topped 100 yards rushing as a team against the Saints in 5 games. Now, Smith's return could provide a boost to a Saints passing game that has trailed well behind the standard set using the era of record-setting quarterback Drew Brees. When the Saints had a top 10 passing offense in all but 2 of the past 15 seasons and ranked first in 6 teams. Through 5 games this season, with Jameis Winston as starter, the Saints ranked second to last in the NFL with 169.4 yards passing per game. Now, it hasn't helped that Smith and Thomas have been out. The Saints have had to rely primarily on second-year NFL receiver Marcus Callaway and third-year pro Deontay Harris, who served primarily as a return specialist in his first 2 seasons. That doesn't mean the Saints don't pose a threat in the passing game, with defenses forced to honor a running game led by Alvin Kamara and averaging 125.8 yards per contest. Winston has been able to connect over the top on some long touchdowns, including 2 of more than 50 yards to Harris. Now, after giving up more than 450 yards total in 4 straight weeks and tying an NFL record, the Seahawks were better last week, holding the Steelers to 345 yards. Despite the improvement, Seattle still hasn't held an opponent under 100 yards rushing and continues to get very little out of its pass rush. The Seahawks had 0 sacks against Pittsburgh, but Carroll cautioned that the Steelers weren't the best opponent to judge the state of the pass rush. The Saints have allowed 9 sacks in 5 games. And that's your preview, Saints versus Seahawks on Monday night. No preview has been given to us for the Colts and 49ers. Excuse me. If you're wondering what's going on, so am I. Okay, let's Let's get to the moment we've all been waiting for, and that is the top 25. And oh, what a difference a day makes. And oh, what a difference a game will make. Let's get you to the top 25 coaches poll. And here we go.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes.
Thank you. Consumes everyone. Okay, number 25. The 24 is Coastal Carolina. 23, University of Texas, San Antonio. 22, Iowa State. 21, San Diego State. Number 20, Penn State. Number 19, Southern Methodist University, or SMU. 19, SMU. 18, Auburn. 17, Pitt. 16, Baylor. 15, Oklahoma State. And it is raining. Shocking. State. 14, Texas A&M. 13, Wake Forest. 12, Kentucky. 11, Notre Dame. 10, Ole Miss. Number 9, Iowa. Now, next week, Michigan takes on Michigan State. Where did they fall in this week's top 25? Michigan State, number 8. Number 7, Oregon. Number 6, Michigan. Number 5, Ohio State. Now, for the top 4, Oklahoma, where Jim Ross rules with a soft touch. That's right. Jim Ross's alma mater. Oklahoma is ranked number 4. Alabama, coming back, ranks number 3. Number 2, Cincinnati. And number 1, Georgia. That could be a changer. Georgia had the week off, so too did Michigan State. Now, next week, we got the schedule bumped up for next week's college football games. If we got them, guys, please tell me we got them. Oh, I forgot to touch the button. Okay, thank you. Thank you for informing me. Okay, week 9, let's go to what we like to call the predictor. Okay. And week begins on Thursday. 2 games. Here we go. Now, here are the games that are of interest. Please listen up. The Battle of the Undefeateds. 6, Michigan versus and at number 8, Michigan State. The Battle of the Undefeateds. This game there has never been more importance in a rivalry game like this than ever before, at least in the eyes of the Michigan State fan bases. Last time this game got big importance, and by big I mean more than just 2 undefeated teams, but 2 teams in the top 25, and quite possibly with one of those teams getting in the top 4 of the college football playoff picture, the Big 4, maybe even that number 1 ranking. We'll just have to wait and see. Michigan State, that's 12 noon on Fox. But you're probably asking yourself, wait a minute, where's the number 1? What about Georgia? What about Alabama? What about Clemson? Well, let's take a look. Georgia. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Georgia plays, number 1 ranked Georgia plays at Gator Country, Florida, 3:30 p.m. That game on CBS. But the bigger question is, where's Clemson? Clemson's on opposite them. Florida State will be at Clemson. That game 3:30 on ESPN. So what about Alabama with a banjo on its knee? Do they have a day off, mehaps? Oh, let us find out, dear friends. We can find Alabama. Let's get some oops. I did a little miss stupid here, so I'll just have to take the board here and just go get the schedule for the Crimson Tide. Now, yesterday, Alabama, as we told you last night, beat Tennessee Volunteers 52-24. So, where are they this week, you might ask? Where are they this week, we might ask? Let's see. Where are they this week? I think they are in a bye. Let's get going here. Let's find out. Yep, they are in the bye week. They don't come back until November 6th. That's right, November 6th, the LSU Tigers come into town to meet the Alabama Crimson Tide. So this could change the outlook for Michigan and Michigan State. Not only is it for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, but also could possibly be for a top 4 spot, as we said, in the CFP, the College Football Playoff Poll, which, if I'm not mistaken, comes out this week, and we will have it for you right here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lugnuts, the number 6, on our sports final. So get ready for that. Like we said, this game is of big importance that the gang over at Fox Big Game Saturday will be at Spartan Stadium for their broadcast, which will be on, of course, Fox Sport will be on Fox, the Big Rock Daddy Fox, 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox. You can see it locally here on Fox 47, Fox 2, Fox 32, Fox 17, and Fox Up, or Fox UP, or as we like to call it, Fox Up. So, and on WBKB's Fox Digital channel. So all of Michigan is going to be able to not only watch the game, but see how the fans are in Spartan land, in the Spartan Nation, because with this game now having some big importance, oh boy, it's going to be a very interesting night, or it's going to be a very interesting day in Spartan Stadium. And I guess they're going to have a very heavy police presence there just in case. And I jokingly said this last night, and I'll continue to jokingly say this. Folks, if you live around Spartan Stadium, students, faculty, if you live around Spartan Stadium, if you live in those apartments, chain your couches, because they might get tossed and burned. But I have a feeling this is going to be a very different, more respectful Spartan crowd for their nowhere near little brother. He's a little tiny brother. Now, as for me, who am I going to pick? That you'll have to stay tuned for. I will have my pick Friday night at 11:35 on the sports final. I might give my pick to some friends of mine early. So as they say, stay tuned. Anyway, that is going to wrap things up for us here on After the First Half. Before we go, we got to do the recap of all the 1 o'clock games that have just come to a conclusion. At least I hope they did. And they have, let's give you an update, first of all, on the 405 games right now. And this is a shocker. We may have to find the siren for this. 3:04 left to play in the first quarter. The Lions have a 10-0 lead over the LA Rams in Los Angeles. 1:44 left to play in the opening quarter. Eagles Raiders. The Eagles have a temporary lead on the Raiders. The 4:25 games, Bears and Bucks. Early in the first, no score. And early in the first in the Texas-Arizona game, no score. Let's go for the finals du jour here. I'll tell you the Falcons beat the Dolphins 30-28. Get back over here. Giants shocked the Panthers, not whopped them, although, well, they spanked them like a rented mule, 25-3. Bengals over the Ravens, 41-17. Titans over the Chiefs, 27-3. Ooh, that is going to, as we get closer and closer to halfway in the season, that is going to hurt Kansas City's chances for a playoff. They may have to run the board. Patriots smacked the Jets 54-13. Packers over Washington, no name yet, but we'll have one probably at the end of the season, 24-10. And that is it for us here on After the First Half Sports Finals review of the 1 p.m. NFL games for Week 7. Join us at midnight Eastern Time for the whole kit and caboodle of sports. And we will see you then. Until then, I'm Steve Bexley. This has been a presentation of L2C. No, this has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports and YouTube. We will see you tonight, midnight Eastern Time, maybe midnight 05, but we'll be on the air at midnight, right after our podcast, Last Call Cafe at 11, and Russell Anime Hut at 11:30 on Spreaker, powered by, of course, and from iHeartMedia. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for being there. Good night for now from the Fred McLeod Sports Desk at the Tom O'Neill Studios in Jackson. I'm Steve Bexley. So long, everybody. See you at midnight.